guys, what's crack-a-lackin'? What is happening? Get on here and give you guys an up-a-date. Right? Ain't that right? Ain't that right, man? What up, man? What's crack-a-lackin', man? Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm just happy for my daughter. She got third place in her color guard today. It was really, really cool. They did a really good job. It's the first time they had all their props and everything out. They were still trying to wait on some stuff to come in, but it was really cool. I'm probably going to post a video of it later on tonight, so please check it out if you would. I'll post it to my channel, and I'm going to send everybody there on the team a link. So check it out and comment underneath. Tell them how much you like them, okay? If you would, those girls would love that. Girls and guys. It's color guard and band. We got state fair this coming next Friday. So then they go right back to school. So yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, I got some criticisms in the comment section, and they are valid. And let me tell you why. I was not doing what I told you guys I was going to do, and I just really wasn't paying attention. So it wasn't intentional, but I told you guys I would be doing the space weather right at the beginning, and I haven't followed through with that. The last couple live streams wasn't intentional. I just kind of, I get sometimes I squirrel, and I got to come back. And thank you for those that kind of stick up for me in the chat and in the comment section. But it's okay, really, seriously. Don't put yourself out there to take some fire for me. I can handle it, I promise you. It does make me feel good when you guys take up for me like that. I mean, because I know we are a family here. And but the criticism was legit. I went back and I looked. It was like 6 or 7 minutes before I started talking about space weather, and that's just too much of a thing at the beginning. And then I kind of stopped in between. I was kind of going around a little bit. I kept the whole subject towards space weather, but it wasn't poignant enough to really what we needed to be talking about. And I do apologize for that, because it will push viewers away, and I don't want that. I want everybody to stick around. So I'm not going to ignore you guys. Anybody who gifts memberships, anybody who says does super chats and all that kind of stuff, I will say thank you. And then I will stop halfway through and say, hey guys, thank you. We'll do a roll call, and then I'll wait till the end. That was working really well. And the past couple shows, I wasn't really adhering to that. So, and right now you can kind of see I'm starting to do it again, but I'm going to stop now. But I needed to say that so you guys understood. So that's what I'm going to do. And I hope everybody kind of likes that, and we'll just get with it. So, like, share, and subscribe, guys, please. Thank you for all the new subscribers. We've gotten a couple hundred the past day or so. I imagine it has something to do with the space weather we got going on, and the reporting I'm doing and stuff like that. But it is very, very active right now, guys. These two sunspots, these two regions, there's more than one spot here. They're very, very active, and they're right in front of us. We now have up to 5, maybe even 6 solar storms headed our way. This is going to get a little interesting, like I said last night. And this last one was the biggest flare that we've had from it. I'm just going to pause that. I had that right there so you guys had something to look at while I was getting started here. So we're going to start here with a boring graph. Yeah, I know. Sucks, doesn't it? But got to start here. But yeah. So, sound is fine? Okay. You guys had me scared there for a minute. I was like, no, I just sit there and rambled on for nothing, right? You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. Hey, Sean Carter, good to see ya. We'll go ahead and just let that one through. Yeah, so, hey, Trish, George, and here I go. I'm squirreling, right? So, no, come on, mods. Smack me across the head with a wrench. Say, hey, just because you're doing the channel don't give you the right to make us wait. Anyway, guys, this is starting, I said this yesterday, you look very, very familiar very similar to the storm we had back in May. Now, I'm not saying it's as powerful. I'm still not saying that, because I don't think it is. But we do have multiple solar storms, and a lot of these are going to hit us. Some of them actually not the one in the past day or so, but there was one back here on the 25th, I believe, is already hit. Right here. Okay, right here in the middle of the day today. Now I know everybody's going straight over to the Olympics and the Paris power outage or lack of a power outage or whatever anybody's talking about there. I have not researched it. I just got home. Okay, I've been out of town. I'm almost an hour away. I just got home. This was happening, and I wanted to make sure I come out here and did this for you. I seen that Adam had reported on it, and I still have to go watch that. I was able to catch the shoutro, but I didn't catch any of the show. So please go over to Marfugal TV and check out their last live stream. They talked about that stuff. It's in the title and everything. So go check it out. But I don't think this had anything to do with it. If it did, I would be very, very surprised. Even if there was a massive power outage, for it to be just one city would be odd. From a hit from the sun. Okay, not to say that can't happen on the like very, very rare it would happen, but with everything going around over there, I would tend to lean other directions. But I don't know. I haven't researched it, so I'll just say that. Now, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 2 flares there. 6, 7 M class flares within a 24-hour period. That's a lot. Okay? Not to mention that the majority of them, I wouldn't call this long duration, but this isn't like just direct impulsive either. Okay? It's not just one line straight up, straight down. It's still tailed off. And when it does that, we expect a little bit more of a CME. But this is what I would consider kind of a normal duration one. And those can produce decent sized CMEs. All these can, right? Even the impulsive ones can if it's powerful enough and in the right spot on the sun. So, but typically we tend to not see as big of a CME with impulsive flares. Now I'm calling this one pretty much an X flare. Yeah, I mean it's right there. I mean, yeah. I mean you guys can see that. So, let me go down here and we're gonna look at the D region, the absorption, and I show you guys this almost every live stream anyway. So what we're looking at here, this is the day side of the planet here. How can I tell? Because this is X-ray, and it's lighting it up right here. There were radio blackouts here during that time frame. So if I grab this, and we're going to see right there, okay, you can line up the time frames. It's 2 UTC on the 28th. Oops, sorry. And if we go back up here to the top, look, that is your almost X flare. That's what I'll call it. Okay, so that is the biggest flare we've had in quite a few days, probably over a week. It's significant. Okay, it gave us R2 radio blackouts, but again, the planet's 70% water, so there's a 70% chance it's not going to affect, mass population. So that's what I would say. Hey, Ron, good to see you, brother. Yeah, it's pretty close to an X flare, Ron. Good to see you, man. We got the purple eggplant. Love it. Stephen A is in the hizzy. Okay, so let's see here, guys. Also, please extend your prayers and your good thoughts to anybody fighting with these wildfires. I'm getting reports. I've got pictures that Miss Dragon sent me. I'm going to show them to you, but I'm going to wait a couple days. So I just want to make sure everybody's fine before I start showing any kind of photographs or anything like that. They're photographs she took herself. So go check out her channel. She's actually got some video, at least one that I've seen she made on it, showing her sky, what it looked like during these fires. So, and yes, those fires can be, space weather can influence those things. Okay? And we see an uptick in electrical fires, seismic activity, all that stuff every time we get solar activity. Every time. There's not one time that it doesn't happen. You just have to know where to go look. You would have to go look at all the utility companies, all the emergency reports, like on a global scale, And there's people out there that can do that very quickly. I can't. And I'm talking like agencies would have that access to those kinds of numbers, not me. So I can't really give you those numbers. I could give you historic, like months ago, but I can't give you yesterday. So anyway, so NOAA over here at Space Weather Prediction Center, they have been updating fairly quickly, and I think it's because of the previous G5 solar storm we had back in May, and it was so hard, and that was misforecasted quite a bit. Okay, and it wasn't because of, who cares pointing fingers here and there. It doesn't matter. We just have to learn from it and move on. I think they're staying on top of this a little bit more right now. And that's just my opinion. I'm noticing that these things, because guys, it's a Saturday, and a lot of times on a Saturday we won't get an update on this model until Monday. So unless there's something huge happening. Now I don't know if I would call this huge. I would call this extremely important to know. This is very big space weather news. Okay. So what this model is showing us is 2 days historic data, and obviously we're past 2 days now. We're actually right here. So this model was updated, I don't know, 4 hours ago or something like that. So anything happened within 4 hours ago, and I'm saying that for a reason. This flare is not here yet. Okay? So keep that in mind when I'm showing you this. This is the stuff that's happening before that biggest flare. So this stuff is coming at us. This is going to hit us. And it's multiple things here. Okay? So as I go forward here, and actually I could zoom in, you can see there's more than one eruption there. Again, this is very similar to what happened back then in May. It was the double tap type of thing we were talking about over and over and over again. This is like just a bunch just happening. It's just firing all over the place. So let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit, and it's probably about as far as it's going to let me go. So what I'll do here, it's right here, and I zoomed in here so you can see the separate CMEs. Okay? Notice how that second one, much like back in May, the one behind was moving faster than the one in the front. What happens when that happens? Well, the one in the front acts like a wall, and the one in the back acts like a snowplow. It grabs all those particles, those highly charged particles, and rolls them up. And it basically just, you get another, I would almost call it another CME, but we call it a shockwave. Okay? It's just a mass buildup of highly charged particles. Very dense. You get a very dense area when that happens. Okay? A lot of people call these cannibal CMEs. They do not cannibalize each other. Okay? They don't eat each other. They don't even combine. They get real close to one another. They can't really physically do that because of physics and magnetics. Okay? It just can't happen. You get too many positive against positive and they push away. These particles are not slamming into each other like that, like people think that they are. It's not happening that way. So, but, they use that word cannibal because that's what it looks like. They look like they kind of combine, and the one in the back kind of looks like it eats it up, right? And it's just another visual representation to help us understand. That's all that is. But I don't know that I would have called it that because it does, mislead some people if they don't know what they're looking at, right? So anyway, you got that, and boom, it catches up right there. Now, this is a little different than what happened back then, because if you remember, those two there, the two CMEs didn't really catch up to each other till right at our planet. This is different. This is happening about halfway. So if I keep going forward here, and you can definitely see that that's a hit all around. They're talking 30 to 50 on the density. We're talking over 500 on the radial velocity, the speed. So what are we talking there? For every 4 kilometers per second, 400, it's 1,000,000 miles per hour. So that is, that would be equivalent to 1,000,000 miles per hour. Okay, so it's pretty fast, right? I mean, I think we kind of got to agree with that. If it's moving at that speed, it would take it 93 hours to get here. Okay, so you're looking at almost 4 days. So typically a CME is moving faster than that. So the average, if you wanted to like just rule of thumb, in the middle average, how long does it take for a CME to get here? Or an ICME, it's an interplanetary coronal mass ejection. It's not just a coronal mass ejection. If it was just a coronal mass ejection, it wouldn't make it out of the corona. That happens all the time. An ICME is an interplanetary, which means it ejects out into the planets. But anyway, you can just pick 3 days. That's what I would say. If I had to pick a number on average, what we would expect, and you hear me stuttering there like Porky Pig. But no, seriously, that's what's happening there. So pick the number 3. There you go. 3 days average. If something's going to be moving faster than that, I'm going to let you know. Now density, I don't really give it an average. I used to say 4 because that's really what they say is what is nominal, like kind of normal. But I don't say that anymore because I've seen us get a hit of 30 and not even get into geomagnetic storms. Then I've seen us get a hit of like 1 or 2 on the density and we get like a G3 out of it. It's crazy. All that does is it confirms that it takes more than one data point to cause an issue. You can't just look at density alone. You can't just look at speed alone. You can't just look at direction. You got to look at all of it. All of it. And then you got to, kind of wrap your brain around it. And that's how we do things, right? So, I showed you guys this model here yesterday also. See how much more this is even got since I showed it to you guys yesterday? This area of the sun is exploding. It's like a constant flare producer right now. They're called hyperactive sunspots. This thing is not shutting up. And not to mention that it's actually still communicating with this one over here too, which means that they will transfer plasma back and forth on magnetic connection lines, and they'll communicate in other ways too that I'm not going to get into, but they can fire at the same time. They can rob energy from that one section of the sun to the other, and it just overall destabilizes the whole area. Okay, so it makes things a little bit more volatile. So I just hope you guys understand that. I'm not going to go too much into detail on that again. But as we can see here, the aurora right now is nothing because we don't have anything happening at our planet right this second. But if we go back up here, again, we got into a G1 storm earlier yesterday. Now, this was close, and so was that. I think we actually did get to a G1 storm here for a little bit today. Okay? So we did go into geomagnetic storming for a little while today. It was not anything big. And again, guys, I know people, and I check it, right? When I hear like massive blackouts and things like that, I absolutely come over here and see if maybe the sun has something to do with it. Okay? But you got to match up your timing. You got to understand what the event is actually going on. If the sun's going to cause outages, it's not going to be just in one city on the planet. Okay? So please try to understand that. It's an okay thought to have at first until you actually like think about it for a second. You know what I mean? Have we ever got a hit from the sun and it only affected one city? Yeah. Because it opened a crack up over top of that city and we ended up taking a little bit more of a hit there. But that ain't what happened this time. So I'm just letting you know that. Now, I'm not sure exactly what time the power outage was and all that. We would have to look at UTC time versus their local time, our local time, and it gets to be a little bit where I can't just do that right here and show you, right? And like I said, guys, I just got home a few minutes ago. So, and again, guys, please share this out. And anybody that's a new subscriber, thank you. Thank you for subscribing up. Hopefully, you guys, I can earn your membership also. If you want to become a member, I'm going to be doing a members-only stream tomorrow. I'm going to actually schedule it when I get done doing this. I'll probably schedule it for the afternoon sometime. maybe later in the evening. I'm not really sure yet. My daughter has again, an ice cream social tomorrow evening. And I'm going to be there for that because she's performing twice there also. And my mom and dad are going to be there. So that's kind of what's happening there. But you can see they're forecasting here, guys. And so they're saying a G1 on the 29th, G2 on the 30th. This is not taking into consideration this yet. Okay? So I don't know. This is probably going to change, at least on the 31st. There is 31 days in July, right? I think there is. I have to go look at the calendar, but I think there is. But anyway, yeah. So I look for this forecast to kind of change a little bit, especially. And NOAA is good about, like, if they get new data in or if the data didn't do what they thought it was going to. Oh, Deep Quake, thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Awesome sauce. Who got him? Let's see here. Christina Zagorski, Chloe 69541, Rick Esquire, Jonathan Earl. Awesome. K-Jack 4. Love it, guys. Love it. Thank you, Deep Quake. Guys, tell him thanks. He's a rock star here, guys. You guys don't know who Deep Quake is? He's a rock star. Go check out Matthew Shipley. He's over there a lot, too, in the chat. It's a 24-hour live feed showing nothing but solar graphics and giving you up-to-date nowcast. It's I nowcast, guys, in case you didn't know. I am not a forecaster. I don't hold myself to that level. I can forecast a little, but I'm not. If I don't think I'm confident on it, I won't do it. So just so you know, anybody that's new here. So, but go check out Matthew Shipley. All his stuff's over there. Check out Dr. Tamitha Scove. Awesome stuff. But Deep Quake's over there, and you're a rock star, Deep Quake. Hey guys, while I pull this up, give me a roll call in there if you would. I'd like to see what region you guys are from. That'd be awesome. But this is SDO, okay? So SDO is actually rotating right here. This is a satellite. It's in geosynchronistic orbit. You see this yellow? That yellow line? That's its eye, and that's pointed at the sun. But geosynchronistic orbit simply means geo, Earth, in sync, right? Synchronistic. It's in sync with the Earth, which means it stays over this part at all times of our planet. Okay? Now, what you're seeing there, I think the purple is showing you the eclipse, because right now we're in eclipse season. There's 2 seasons for SDO, 2 eclipse seasons. Because of the pattern that it does here, we see an eclipse season. The Earth passes between the satellite and the sun. It's really that simple. So, Louisville, Kentucky, Western Montana, Central California, heck yeah. Joe Price, oh, I love Joe. Joe's awesome. Hey, Joe Schmo, good to see you. South Central Kansas, all right, Minnesota. Love it. You'd be a good person to ask your Ange 333 if you're up in Minnesota. Do you hear people say, like, if a guy could do this, or if a guy could do that, or if a guy had this, or if a guy had that? I hear that a lot. I used to work with the guy that came from up north like that, and he used that phrase all the time. The guy's name was Roy Smith. He was an awesome dude. He's passed now. He was a maintenance manager at a factory I used to work at, and he was just a really good guy. I missed the man, that's for sure. Good guy. But he used to say that all the time. But anyway, that's where the satellite's at, guys, just to give you an understanding of where we're looking from. Because you can't tell what you're looking at unless you know where you're standing, right? Because you got to have your own perspective. If you don't know, everything's relative to where you're standing. Which is why there's so many people that get so many things wrong when they're talking about stuff moving in space. Because they don't ever consider that, guess what? They're the ones moving, not the stuff in space the majority of the time. Just so you know, there's something called field rotation, and that explains about 90% of all of that. But I will, parallactic angle, that's another word. See, guys, I can start throwing them words at you, and I'm not going to do it. Just not going to do it. Not going to do it. George Bush, right? Okay. So this is a 94 angstrom. It's a part of the light spectrum we can't see with our eyes. They're looking at a specific gas. And 94, the 94 angstrom is not this color. They gave it this color. It's not, yeah. They could give it any color they wanted. So I'll just leave it at that. But it looks at a specific gas. I'm not sure what 94 angstrom is. I should know that, and I should put it here on screen. But, so what I'm going to do here, I'm actually going to reset that, and let's see what we get here. Oh man, now I'm gonna have to back out of it. Daggone it. Okay, but this is just as good. Okay. All right. So, remember these are the sunspots we're looking at, right? That's the 26th, and remember that's UTC time. Okay. Horrible man. Who's a horrible man? Peaceful garden. Like George Bush, yeah. I'm not going. I don't do politics here. If that's what you're talking about, I do not do politics here. Just so you know. We don't do that. We don't talk bad about other channels, and we don't attack each other, and we don't use vulgarity. That's the only 3 chat rules we have. You know, you can disagree with people in the chat, just don't get mean, and don't get personal attack or get vulgar. You can, you know, you can try to convince me the sky's, I don't know, purple or something. I don't know. And if you got good reason for me to believe that, who knows? Hey, Pan B, good to see you. Anyway, so that's UTC time, 11 on the 26th. And so let me just do this. And you're going to start seeing this thing pop. Boom. That one happened right there in the middle, right? And I showed all these to you guys yesterday. There's a big one, right? On the 27th. John Price, good to see you. Ain't seen you in a minute. There, okay, look at that. So that was a decent sized flare right there. I showed you guys this one yesterday. So there's the 27th on the 9th. And watch this one here just start lighting up. I mean, it's just not stopping. Do you see that one right there? Right here. See how it's all quiet? Now watch. Look at it just grow and expand. That one blew, right? So the time is like, we'll just say like 17. Oops. So it'd be this one. These 2 flares right here are those right there. See how this is longer duration, and see how it's producing CME because of it? Oh my God, Joe Smo, you've given that just a little bit too much thought. I love it though. I love it. Cracking me up. But anyway, so that was that 2 flares there. Now let's check out the one that did the CFD X flare. Yep. There's your X flare. Okay. Right there, dead smack in the middle. And it looks like it did produce the CME. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Now, did it produce much of one? I can't really tell you yet. We don't really have a whole lot of data in for it yet. Okay, just so you understand that. So let me back it up again. So there, yeah, right there. All right. Now I tell you what we can do. We're gonna look at 2 different angstroms here. Okay, we'll look at the 131, and then we'll look at the 211 because the 211 will show us if the atmosphere got disturbed quite a bit. If the corona got disturbed, usually typically that means it shot a pretty good CME. So that's what I'll say. Hey Don, good to see you. Howdy Ron from Emergency Management Associates. What's going on, buddy? Appreciate you. Guys, get over and check out Ron. Great stuff over there, man. Ron, did you ever get your computer fixed? I wasn't able to check you out the past couple days to be on there live with you to check out your live stream. I've been so busy with my daughter, I ain't had a chance to do nothing but this and then go do that stuff. But look at all those flares, guys. I mean, it's just amazing. And I don't think this is going to slow down. I do think it's going to continue. I don't think we've got much of a rest time here. And with that being the case, we're going to take hit after hit after hit. And we know when that's happening, it's going to put our magnetic field into a position that it might not be able to recover 100% before we get hit again. And it will make geomagnetic storming a little bit more intense. Okay? Okay, let me back it up. I want to point something else out here too. See, this just happened on the backside too. Watch this. Look at that one. I would have to say that that's a monster. Just to tell you that. That's a lot of plasma. You don't typically see that kind of plasma leaving the sun in this angstrom of light. Not on the backside like that. I would have to tell you that that's probably a pretty decent sized CME. It looks like it's either a CME or a filament release, but it looks like a CME blowing off there, not just a filament. So let me back this up here to our X flare, right there. Okay, so yeah, so there's your X flare. Now remember, guys, it's still flaring. It's not going to stop for a minute. Let's go look at the 211. So we'll be able to see the disruption in the corona on this one. See, there's one of the flares, another flare, and CME, another CME. Anytime you see that stuff moving, that's a CME, guys. Okay? I mean, it could be an ICME, not sure until we look at it. Oh, yeah. That definitely produced a CME. So let me, what we'll do is I'll just take you back here to it. Watch right here. Oh, I went too far. Anyway, we'll just roll through to the next one here. Right about. Right. Okay, so we'll stop it there. And yes, there's the center point. That's where the flare happened. But watch the disruption on the corona there. See that? You guys see that shockwave go across the sun? Okay, so first off, what you're going to see here is that flare. Right? Boom. There's your flare. And the whole picture goes a little hazy. You want to know why? Because the camera couldn't handle all the light. Boom. Okay? So right after that, what are we seeing? You can see the disruption all the way on the sun here. We're not going to be able to get a really good sight of that on the coronagraphs because the occulter disc is going to be in the way. So, but we can definitely say, hey, we got something coming, right? So if we come down here to seeds, now this is the M flare from earlier, and that is a Halo CME also. It's not much of one, but it's there. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just look at the whole day run here on the 27th. This is the coronagraph on Soho. This satellite sits right out in front of us, about 1 million miles closer to the sun. So this is the same eruptions I showed you last live stream. And then there was another one there on the end. Okay? So it does look like we've got this one here showing at least 3, maybe 4. Now if we go to the next day, I don't think we have any data yet. It's just not enough time. There's a little bit there. What time is that showing? Yeah, see, it's not even to the time of the X flare yet. 1:25 UTC. There is another place we can go look, though. Okay? And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're going to go over here to... well, we can look at it in different places. I'll tell you what. Let's go over here to HelioViewer. And we'll look at it there. Okay, so this right here is SDO, the same satellite. This is just on a different website. So, that right there is your most recent image from the sun. These are those sunspots. Yesterday when I showed you guys this, remember I was taking the Earth, the scale of the Earth here, and showing you how many Earths can fit in there? Check out this one down here now. See how much bigger it is? You can fit 2 in there now. Couldn't do that yesterday. And then there's more cores showing up here too. Plus we got one coming in over here. These are still active, guys, and this one's right in front of us. Now it's becoming more complex again too, even today versus yesterday. What I mean by that is you got more cores, negative and positive, and they're swirling around each other. When that's happening, we get that reconnection event, and that's your flare. Okay? But I like showing you guys this because it gives you an idea how big these spots are. That's how big the Earth is. It would take 1.3 million Earths to fill the sun. Volume. Okay? And 330,000 Earths to match the mass of the sun. So keep that in mind. Also, the equatorial regions of the sun, it rotates faster than the polar regions of the sun, because the sun's not a big old ball of rock. It's different. Okay. But yeah. So let's look at SOHO, and I should be able to show you that here. We're going to find out. Let's go to the coronagraph. LASCO C2. And it may not be able to show us much, but we're going to try. Okay, well, let's go with the newest image. There's the newest image. What time is it? 4:24. Yeah, see, we're not going to be able to see much here because you can see, look at this. Okay, you see that? That right there is the leading edge, probably from that X-Flare CME. Okay? Let me double check that before I make that claim. Yeah, it definitely could be. Okay? Because this is right about 2:30, 3 o'clock. Okay? UTC time. And over here, what we're looking at now is 4:24. So, yes, that could be it. And I do think we're probably going to get a Halo CME out of that. And I'll be able to show that to you again tomorrow a little bit better. But yeah, I think the flare was a strong one. X2. Well, the flare itself wasn't an X flare, Ron. It was close, really, really close. It's close enough for me to call it an X flare. I'll say that. What we can do though, Dr. Tony Phillips, if you come over here to his page, the X flare came in. The amount of X-rays our detector picked up, it came in at an M9, which is as close as you can get to an X-flare without being an X-flare. So it was like right there at that precipice. But it definitely was. It was pretty decent. Pretty decent blast there. So it's definitely worth, yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye on it, guys. There's no doubt about it. And Dr. Tony Phillips here is basically agreeing with what I just said. Geomagnetic storm watch. If you guys read my title, you know I do think we got a good chance of getting a strong to severe geomagnetic storm out of all this. Look at all the sunspots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of them right now. And to put it in perspective, you got 1, 2, 3, you got 5 of them right here in that one little area that's doing all the flaring. This one's flaring too, but this is doing the majority of it. And we got a chance to take in stuff from this one a little bit more than the other one right now. So that's what I'll say. Okay, so this is our magnetosphere, right? And I'm not even going to waste your time with this because nothing is happening right now at our planet. So I'm not going to really show you any of that. I just think it's a waste of time. This is the space weather data. We're going to stay in an unstable, like fluctuant state for a while. We get a reverb action. Everything has to start going back to normal after things quiet down, right? Well, it takes it a minute, right? So that's why we're seeing what I call popcorn. We started getting hit way back, okay? So when this is a data point, it's exactly what that is. It's that one little dot here is a data entry. So when you get things that are like, say I got a 438 on the speed here, and then the next reading was a 438, and then a 438, a 438, a 438. Well, you take 5 or 6 of those right in a row, it starts to look like a solid line. Okay? So that's why I call it popcorn when it's doing this. And what that is, that means that the conditions are fluctuating. And that's a strong indicator that we're experiencing some sort of space weather impacting our magnetic field. So, yeah. Okay. So, What can we expect? I know it's a lot of people asking that almost every time, and it's a very legitimate question. So if we go to the space weather scales, and you can go over to NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center, any of the NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center pages, scroll down to the bottom. All these models are here, guys. Models, charts, graphs, anything you want to know, anything you want to learn, it's there. Just click on it. Those are all hyperlinks. Look at them. All of them. So what can we expect? We'll go with the G3. Okay. That's a little bit higher than what they're forecasting right this second, but I think they may end up changing it to that after they see this X flare. Okay. They could or couldn't, but we're going to look at G3. Geomagnetic storm level 3, that takes a KP of 7. That KP7 is nothing more than an indice that they use to measure geomagnetic activity, KP. Okay, they're 3-hour averages. That's what we see here. Okay, the KP is on the left, and they directly relate to G1, G2, all these storm levels over here. Just like a thunderstorm warning system. Okay, but a G3, voltage corrections may be required, false alarms triggered on some protective devices. In other words, they're talking about stuff like GFCIs. I don't want to call them new anymore because they're not really new, but the outlets that most towns require you to have in like your kitchen and your bathroom, they'll trip out without having to have the breaker box do it. It does it right there on the switch and on the outlet. That's what they're talking about there. Stuff like that. Even at the substations, they may have to go reset some things. And then we got spacecraft operations, surface charging. I actually talked about that a little bit yesterday. These satellites are out there, and when we get hit with these stronger geomagnetic storms, it pushes our bow shock back, which is the first point of contact between our magnetic field and space weather from the sun or wherever, right? So if it pushes our magnetic field back enough, it'll compress it, and it does a lot of things when it compresses. Okay, I'm not going to get into everything that it does, but if it pushes it back far enough, it exposes all of our satellites to just straight space weather without any protection from our magnetic field, and it makes them more susceptible to surface charging and a lot of other things. And surface charging is exactly what you think it is. It's putting a charge right on the surface of the satellite. And during certain situations, if there's any kind of moisture or anything like that, which there shouldn't be in space, but like in like a manned spacecraft, there's going to be moisture in there. So the surface charging can be really dangerous for them. But anyway, even without the possibility of having moisture, it can still mess with the electrical components, and they might have to steer the satellites back up into place from the surface charging. But typically they have to steer them back into place because when you get hit with the storm like this, it adds density, right? It adds more particles, so it increases drag. So they got to steer the satellites back because it's like if you're walking, say you're walking down the boardwalk getting ready to go to the beach, right? You got your flip-flops on, you got your little swim trunks on, you're getting ready to go dip in the water, right? Well, you jump off the pier and you jump down onto the beach. Well, now you're not walking so fast because of why? Because that sand is causing drag. It's the same thing with the satellite out there. If we're getting hit with space weather, it's going to cause extra particles, which could be related to sand, like in the analogy I just used, and slow things down. So that's what I'll say. Anyway, and Aurora is going to be, yeah. If we do get hit with something like this, we're going to see some good Aurora. I promise you that. But I'll be here to let you guys know. Oops. Sorry. Hold on a minute, guys. I don't know why I had mine up there like that, but I did. Anyway, So, guys, like I said, I just gave you a rundown. As we get further and further, guys, here in the next, I don't know, 6 to 8, 10 hours, I'll probably hop back on and give you guys another update. Um, but yeah, let's see here. Oh my God, oh my guys, thanks for the info. I'm feeling different today. Can't explain. I want to do more, not bad, but good. I want a more myself. It's not. It's really not like me. I kind of like it. I'm a mouse and quiet. Hey, you know, if you feel good, you feel good. Just latch onto that. Hold on to it, and you ain't gonna get nothing bad here. I promise you. This is a place where we are very patient with one another. I got one of the best chats around. My moderator crew is top notch, and I will not send you to a channel that is rude, nasty, or mean. Now, you'll hear me say, hey guys, I listened to such and such, and I watched such and such report on this. Now, I stop after that if I think they're jerks. I'm not going to send you to a jerk. It's not happening. Um, but it doesn't stop me from mentioning their information. And if I mention their information, I give them credit because they did the work. They deserve that, right? Um, but I also know I'm not the only person that can judge jerks, right? Just because I might think somebody's a jerk doesn't necessarily mean that they are. So that's why I try to give everybody the same consideration. And yeah, so that's just how we do things around here. And guys, I will be posting members only. Like I said, guys, my daughter's got Ice Cream Social tomorrow and 2 performances. So if I can't get it done early, it'll probably have to happen late. And if it's too late, I don't want to do it members only because nobody will show up. So it'll probably be early or midday, like on Monday, maybe Monday evening. Monday evening is probably looking more like it because I think everybody will be home from work, just kind of settling back in. You can probably just hop on. And also, that's when all this stuff will probably be hitting. So we'll have all that to look at together. We'll probably do a movie night here in a couple weeks over on the members only. But yeah, so thank you to anybody at Deep Quake for gifting those 5 memberships earlier. Anybody that is a member, thank you for being a member. Thank you for being a part of the Kool-Aid Krew. I really, truly do appreciate you. My family appreciates it more than I can even, there's not even words for it. So I thank all you guys. Thanks to anybody that's new here. Please hit that subscribe button. Share this out. That's the best thing you guys can do is share this out. The more eyes we get on the views and stuff, the more the channel grows. And, you know, guys, I got a goal. I want to try to see if I can't get to 100K before the end of the year. I got 6 months. You know, I got a good chunk to go, but I know we can do it if everybody helps me. It'd be awesome if we could. I would love it. I want to try to collab with people outside of my genre. That'll get people to look at space weather that's never seen it before. And I think that would be cool. But anyway, guys, love all you guys. And we will be back tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly what time yet, but you guys know the plan. You know the drill. And we're going to be doing this thing, man. Man. All right, guys. God bless. Get over and check out Ron's channel. Yahusha saves. And yeah, you can drink this Kool-Aid.